Short stories for learning English. Focus on the good things in life. Two friends were walking through the desert. At one stage in their journey, they had an argument and one friend slapped the other one in the face. The one who got slapped was hurt, but without saying anything he wrote in the sand, "Today my best friend slapped me in the face." They kept on walking until they found an oasis, where they decided to have a wash. The one who had been slapped got stuck in a mire and started drowning, but his friend saved him. After he had recovered from his shock, he wrote on a stone, "Today my best friend saved my life." The friend who slapped and saved his best friend asked him, "After I hurt you, you wrote in the sand and now you write in stone. Why?" The other friend replied, "When someone hurts us, we should write it down in sand where winds of forgiveness can erase it away. But when someone does something good for us, we must engrave it in stone where no wind can ever erase it." Never give up on your dreams. Once there was an older man who was broke, living in a tiny house and owned a beat-up car. He was living off of $99 Social Security checks. At 65 years of age, he decided things had to change. So he thought about what he had to offer. His friends raved about his chicken recipe. He decided that this was his best shot at making a change. He left Kentucky and traveled to different states to try to sell his recipe. He told restaurant owners that he had a mouth-watering chicken recipe. He offered the recipe to them for free, just asking for a small percentage on the items sold. Sounds like a good deal, right? Unfortunately, not to most of the restaurants. He heard no over 1,000 times. Even after all of those rejections, he didn't give up. He believed his chicken recipe was something special. He got rejected 1,009 times before he heard his first yes. With that one success, Colonel Heartland Sanders changed the way Americans eat chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken, popularly known as KFC, was born. Remember, never give up and always believe in yourself in spite of rejection. Your priorities matter. Imagine you had a bank account that deposited $86 for $100 each morning. The account carries over no balance from day to day, allows you to keep no cash balance, and every evening cancels whatever part of the amount you had failed to use during the day. What would you do? Draw out every dollar each day. We all have such a bank. Its name is time. Every morning, it credits you with 86,400 seconds. Every night it writes off, as lost, whatever time you have failed to use wisely. It carries over no balance from day to day. It allows no overdraft, so you can't borrow against yourself or use more time than you have. Each day, the account starts fresh. Each night, it destroys an unused time. If you fail to use the day's deposits, it's your loss, and you can't appeal to get it back. There is never any borrowing time. You can't take a loan out on your time or against someone else's. The time you have is the time you have, and that is that. Time management is yours to decide how you spend the time. Just as with money, you decide how you spend the money. It is never the case of us not having enough time to do things, but the case of whether we want to do them and where they fall in our priorities. Love matters more than material items. Some time ago, a man punished his young daughter for wasting a roll of gold wrapping paper. Money was tight, and he became angry when the child tried to decorate a box to put under the Christmas tree. Nevertheless, the girl brought the gift to her father on Christmas Day and said, "This is for you, Daddy." The man became embarrassed by his overreaction a few days before, but his rage continued when he saw that the box was empty. He yelled at her, "Don't you know, when you give someone a gift, there's supposed to be something inside?" The little girl looked up at her dad with tears in her eyes and cried, "Oh, Daddy, it's not empty at all. I blew kisses into the box." They're all for you, Daddy." The father was devastated. He put his arms around his daughter and begged for her forgiveness. A little while later, the girl died in an accident. Her father kept the gold box by his bed for many years, and whenever he was feeling down, he would take out an imaginary kiss and remember the love of the child who had put it there. Always tell the truth. One night, four college kids stayed out late, partying and having a good time. They paid no mind to the test they had scheduled for the next day and didn't study. In the morning, they hatched a plan to get out of taking their test. They covered themselves with grease and dirt and went to the dean's office. Once there, they said they had been to a wedding the previous night, and on the way back they got a flat tire and had to push the car back to campus. The dean listened to their tale of woe and thought. He offered them a retest 3 days later. They thanked him and accepted his offer that time. When the test day arrived, they went to the dean. The dean put them all in separate rooms for the test. They were fine with this since they had all studied hard. Then they saw the test. It had 2 questions. 1 your name, 1 points. To which tire burst? 99 points. Your talent only matters if you are somewhere it can be used. A mother and a baby camel were lying around under a tree. Then the baby camel asked, "Why do camels have humps?" The mother camel considered this and said, "We are desert animals, so we have the humps to store water so we can survive with very little water." The baby camel thought for a moment, then said, "Okay. Why are our legs long and our feet rounded?" The mama replied, "They are meant for walking in the desert." The baby paused. After a beat, the camel asked, "Why are our eyelashes long?" "Sometimes they get in my way." The mama responded, "Those long, thick eyelashes protect your eyes from the desert sand when it blows in the wind." The baby thought and thought. Then he said, "I see. So the hump is to store water when we are in the desert. The legs are for walking through the desert, and these eyelashes protect my eyes from the desert. Then why in the zoo?" Do not get too greedy. It was an incredibly hot day, and a lion was feeling very hungry. He crawled out of his den and searched here and there, but he could only find a small hare. He caught the hare, but with some hesitation, as he knew the hare wouldn't fill him up. As the lion was about to kill the hare, he spotted a deer coming his way and thought, "Instead of eating this small hare, let me eat that big deer." So he let the hare go and went after the deer, but it vanished in the forest. The lion now had nothing to eat as the hare was also long gone. Learn from your problems. A man's favorite donkey falls into a deep precipice. He can't pull it out no matter how hard he tries. He therefore decides to bury it alive. Soil is poured onto the donkey from above. The donkey feels the load, shakes it off, and steps on it. More soil is poured. It shakes it off and steps up. The more the load was poured, the higher it rose. By noon, the donkey was grazing in green pastures. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.